That is a Nissan 180SX professional drift car, and I am not a professional drifter, but this is Peden Nielsen from the Mintex Racing team, and he is a professional drifter who's hopefully going to teach me, and therefore you, how to get this thing sideways properly. Ow! So Peden, this is a monster of a machine. It's your baby, right? Can you talk us through what makes this thing so special? I can see a lot of features.
Yeah, absolutely. So this looks like a 180SX with the body kit on, but really underneath it's far from it. So it retains the standard engine, although it's a fully race-built engine, SR20, running about 450 horsepower. The car weighs about a ton, just over 1,000 kg. Every single panel is either fiberglass or carbon. Even the doors and the roof are perspex and see-through. It's a full-on race car, so full FIA spec roll cage, fire suppression, electronic cutoff switches, carbon fiber racing seats, hands device compatible harnesses, quick rack steering wheel as well, so that the steering input is going to be a couple of mil is going to be equal to a full turn of the steering wheel. So wow. Your senses are going to go into overload today, but we're going to try and do it as best as we can. Wow,
I'm excited. I love negative camber, and this thing has the most negative camber I've seen on any car I have ever driven, ones that aren't crashed anyway. So I'm very excited to see how that feels. But at the back I see, it looks like it's running pretty much straight, right?
Yeah, so the front and the rear are obviously set up for different purposes. The front is for steering, the rear is for gripping as much as we can. So a lot of people think that drifting, you're going to run really crappy tires and you want as less grip as possible. But it's the exact opposite. We run a semi-slick tire. You can see there's a lot of rubber pickup here. We were out in Silverstone a couple of weeks ago. So that's in excess of 100 mile-an-hour entries. We may not reach that today, but we'll try. That's 3 laps of Silverstone, or three laps of 2 set of corners.
That's 3 laps?
Yeah, so a tire will last in Silverstone about 1.5 minutes. That's
like
it.
A sea sponge just stuck to your...
Well, we might be able to pick it up afterwards and put it back on again if we run out of tire. So the rear of the wheel, the rear setup is set in such a way that the camber is totally flat. So I want the full tire touching the surface all the time. We then run an insane amount of inward toe as well. So about 4 degrees of inward toe, so that when the car squats and we go into a drift, it bites into the tarmac the whole time. The front is slightly different. We run toe out, so that for the steering, it allows us to change the direction a lot faster as well. So a lot of camber up front, toe out, 0 camber back, toe in.
Wow, that's extreme.
On a drift car, we are allowed to modify from the front turrets forward and from the rear turrets backwards. So basically where the suspension points are. So right there, exactly. So the whole front end of the car is space framed for a number of reasons. One, to keep the weight off the front, but also we tend to, not today, crash a lot. So if we do, there's a bash bar up front in behind the bumper. We can cut sections away, weld new sections on, we're out going again. The engine must be in a standard position. So already Nissan did a great job back in the day. I mean, look at how far back the engine sits. Literally from the front of the car to where the engine finishes, you could almost fit another engine, right? But we try and move around, so the weight distribution of the car is almost 50-50. Yeah. So again, decent power, low weight, 50-50 distribution, front to back and left to right.
It's amazing because you can see standard car up here, and then suddenly it's like prototype race car over here. It's mad.
So it should be a good car to handle.
Let's hope so.
Let's do this.
Yeah, see, whoa, that really does come round.
When you pull the handbrake, close fist. Get right in there,
not top.
Exactly, get in there and pull it as hard as you can.
Okay. And that was I barely giving it anything there? That wasn't enough, okay.
Pull it. I want you relaxed, but not too relaxed.
Yeah.
So as you come up, just clutch in and pull the handbrake down. Clutch in. There you go. Exactly.
There you go.
One of the challenge aspects that we're going to have today, and you are going to have a challenge today, by the way, is to get through this bend nice and smooth. Yeah. So all the way up. So always go through that checklist. First gear, second gear, find that corner, handbrake, close fist, clutch in, pull handbrake, turn into the bend, slide, release handbrake, hand back on steering wheel, push, pull, and get that car sideways, and then it's just...
Yeah. Playing with the throttle and...
Let's go for it.
Okay, into first.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that didn't let go of the wheel.
Absolutely perfect. Now, you're getting that sensation of the car sliding, and critically, your hand came off the handbrake and onto the steering wheel. But now you realize that if you don't let go of the steering wheel, it wants to go that direction, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is a good thing.
Okay.
Off we go again.
Good.
Okay, good. You're hugging the outside of the line, which is great. Now I want you to, before we pull the handbrake, veer a little bit in towards the track.
Okay.
I don't want us to go straight off track, right? When you set off, move a car width.
Oh, I see what you mean.
in.
Literally just now, move it over. Yeah, yeah.
And then
yeah.
you can turn with the bend a little bit, right? So as you're turning into the corner before we pull the handbrake, move with the turn a little bit, and then I'll get you to pull the handbrake, all right?
Okay, okay.
Let's
cool.
go for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Speed was fine. Now.
That was fun.
You just did it.
That was fun. Wow, that was easily the most fun I've had through this hairpin. It felt mega, but how did I do?
So honestly, my expectations were pretty low. You did incredibly well. I mean, take a look at the lines behind us, right? Every single one is pretty much on top of the other, which is a sign of a great driver and good driver control as well, and car control. So honestly, you have blown my expectations out of the water.
I mean, your instruction was so crystal clear and this car is amazing, but I mean, that was beginner stuff, wasn't it? There are other ways to do it.
I mean, kind of. I suppose, have you ever heard of a Scandi flick?